this lesson. I'm teacher Agnes, and today we are going to be discussing about the greatest common divisor, commonly known as the G.C.D. Now, this is not the first time we are hearing about the G.C.D. You learned about it in primary school, but what we are going to do different is that we are going to learn the many methods that you can use to find the greatest common divisor among a given set of numbers. So in this lesson, we are going to focus, on two methods of finding the G.C.D. Before we go on, I need us to have a complete understanding of what a divisor is. Okay? Now, simply put, a divisor is just a number that can divide another one. For example, 10 can be divided by 2 to give you 5. Therefore, 2 is a divisor of 10. The same 20 can be divided by 2. So this, which is equal to 10, meaning that 2 can also divide 10. Now, when you have the same number dividing two different numbers, then we say that 2 is a common divisor to 10. Okay? 2 is a common divisor to 10. But for us to get the G.C.D, it means that we must get the greatest common divisor. So let us see which other number can divide 10 other than 2. 10 can also be divided by 5. So 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. Can 20 be divided by 5? Yes. So 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. So you notice that 5 is also a common divisor. The same case as 2. It's a common divisor when it comes to the numbers 10 and 20. Let's say there's another number that can divide 10. Other than 2 and 5, 10 can also divide 10. So 10 divided by 10 is equal to 1. Then 20 divided by 10 is equal to 2. So 10 is also a common divisor for both 10 and 20. Now, if we have these three common divisors, 2, 5, and 10, which among the three is the greatest? That is the one that we are interested in, the greatest common divisor. So you find that 10 is greater than 5 and greater than 2. Therefore, the G.C.D would be equal to 10. Okay? The G.C.D of 10 and 20 would be equal to 10. Now, there is another name that is used to refer to the greatest common divisor, and that name is the highest common factor. So if you come across this word, which is denoted as the HCF, it also refers to the greatest common divisor. But what does this mean? So remember we talked about factors, okay? So we are going to test using 10 and 20 and see if we can identify the highest common factor between the two numbers. So the factors of 10 are, remember we said that you start by dividing 10 using the smallest number, which is 1. So 10 divided by 1 is equal to 10. So both 1 and 10 are factors of 10. The next number is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So both 2 and 5 are factors of 10. Now, is 10 divisible by 3? No. Is 10 divisible by 4? No. Is 10 divisible by 5? Yes. But 5 is already here. So the factors of 10 are actually 1, 2, 5, and then 10. Okay? 1, 2, 5, and 10. Then let's check for 20. Let's check for 20. So for 20, we start by dividing 20 by 1. So what is 20 divided by 1? is 20. So both 1 and 20 are factors of 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So both 2 and 10 are factors of 20. 20 divided by 3, not divisible. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So both 4 and 5 are factors of 20. Now remember, our interest is to identify the common factors in both 10 and 20. So we have 1 is common in both, 2 is common in both, 5 is common in both, 10 is common in both. Now among the different sets of common factors, which one represents the highest common factor? Now the highest common factor is 10. Okay? The highest common factor is 10. Therefore, the G.C.D or the HCF of 10 and 20 is 10. Okay? Now this actually makes up one of the methods of looking for the G.C.D. All you need to do is to list the factors of the numbers and then identify the highest common factor. And that way you will have gotten the G.C.D. Now we are going to discuss the other method which might be very common to you that you can use to determine the greatest common divisor. Now in this question we are going to solve it by using the other method which is called the ladder method. Okay, the ladder method. This is a method that you are very familiar with. So in the ladder method, we are required to get the G.C.D of 16, 60, and then 100. So we are going to create a ladder with the 3 numbers. So here we have 16, 60, and then 100. And then what we are going to do, we are going to have successive division until we get to a point where all the 3 numbers cannot be divided by one number. So remember, a divisor is a number that, a common divisor is a number that should be able to divide the 3 numbers together. So which number do you know that can divide 16, 60, and 100? Okay, 2 is a number that can divide all the 3. So we divide 16 divided by 2 is 8, 60 divided by 2 is 30, 100 divided by 2 is 50. Then at this point you need to ask yourself, is there a number that can divide 8, 30, and 50? Yes, 2 can divide all the 3 numbers. So we divide by 2 again. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, 30 divided by 2 is 15, 50 divided by 2 is 25. So now looking at the 3 numbers, is there a number that can divide 4, 15, and 25? No, because this is an even number and these 2 are odd numbers, so they don't have a common divisor. So this is the farthest that you can go. Therefore, the G.C.D of the 3 numbers will be equal to these 2 times the 2. 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. Now you can try to attempt this by listing all the factors of 16, the factors of 60, and the factors of 100, and try to identify the highest common factor. You should be able to get the same answer as the greatest common divisor, which is 4. Okay? So now I'll give you a question that you are going to attempt and test yourself whether you can get the G.C.D or the highest common factor, either by listing their factors and choosing the highest common factor, or by using the ladder method where you do successive division and get the greatest common divisor. So find the GCD of 30, 45, and 90. So attempt this question and I'm sure that you will get it right. Thank you and see you in the next lesson.